Every second, the world changes, markets rise, leaders speak, stories unfold. To keep up, you don't just need news, you need clarity, you need speed, you need perspective.
That's why Aneke TV brings you the global pulse. Accurate, reliable, right when it matters most. Aneke TV. Move with the world.
Need advert placements, coverage for events, or the latest news stories? Call 070-3043-7110 right now. Aneke TV, move with the world.
Hello, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Sports Wrap here on Aneke TV today. I am your one and only Good Hope Chukwuma, the Sports Oracle. And you see how gentle I'm talking this morning is because the place and the environment is very cozy. So everyone is having a good time because it is a cozy morning. And not just a cozy morning, it was a dramatic night yesterday as Arsenal had to win, scale through. They had to move through Chelsea to win the game yesterday. Of course, you know that Arsenal, they are now into the EFL Carabao Cup, of course, finals. And that is where I'm going to be holding my hinges on. And also, that is where I'm going to be anchoring my ship because we're going to talk about Arsenal today. And you know, as I do this in this show, I bring you the in depth analysis of what it is and how it has been going with Arsenal so far this season. But first of all, let's see what the newspaper review, what the sports newspaper this morning is talking about. We are seeing that Nigerian stars stuck in winter transfer market. You are seeing Nigerian stars stuck in winter transfer market. You also seen Yamal wants to stay at Barcelona forever, and I'm having one of the news that I have been saying, Father, please, it looks like you will forbid this. But I will not say it so loud because I will not tell you the one particularly. But you are going to look at the one. I'm telling you, Father, forbid this. And you see that Lookman releases Atlanta memories. Well, you know what happens when people are signed to a new team. And what happens to them is that they come to say what it has been and how it used to be when they were playing, when he played for his former club, and these lies that these guys tell. And you know what it is? You used to play for Dundee United, though. I'm just saying, not to call anybody's name, but it's just what it is. You used to play for Dundee United, and you are now signed to Portsmouth. When you go to Portsmouth, what will you even say? You will say, "Oh, I've been dreaming of playing for Portsmouth all my life." And when you move from Portsmouth, you will go to West Ham, West Brom, any team you go, you say, "Oh, this has been how many dreams? How many teams do you want to dream?" I'm telling you, my brother, what is driving you around is money and global opportunity. Of course, that is not wrong, but I'm just telling you in case you don't know. Now, seeing also what's happening, you will see Aneke breaks Mikel's transfer record. He has broken Mikel's transfer record. And you look at by the side, you see Okoye bask in form, in Udinese form. You are going down, you will see Onuachu scores 14th 2025/2026 goal. And we are looking at something that I want to just bring your way. Of course, we're going to stay with Arsenal a lot this morning because Arsenal, they are not really the Arsenal we have seen. Now, of course, I've told you that Arsenal could do something like they used to be do, and we have a final. Arsenal has a final, and that is what we're going to be bringing to you now. Still on the newspaper review, still on what is going on and how it is in the Pulse newspaper that we have this morning. You will see Gunners book EFL Cup final spot, and Blues place 100 million on Enzo. Enzo, when you know the Enzo was bought around 100 and something million, and then they have placed him in 100 million. I can tell you that Enzo is a great guy, and Chelsea wants to, you know, get him out of the team, not in a way that he is not playing well. He is the Chelsea's current captain, but he is actually going to, you know, go to a better team where he can play better. But you know, of course, that when coaches are signed to a team, to a club, that when a new coach comes in, he starts to restructure, he starts to bring in new players, just like what happened to Manchester United and what happened and what will happen to other teams, other clubs across Europe. Now, still on the newspaper review, we have Commonwealth confirms Nigeria for basketball event. And down the list, you will see MBF unveils Team Nigeria for maiden African Boxing League. Now looking at the side, that's my left side, you will see Kane misses Bayern training. We're going to see why Kane missed the training and how Palace sabotaged Mateta's Milan move. Okay, well, this is what it is so far and how it is in the newspaper headlines. But I want to just move into this Arsenal game. What is Arsenal up to? This is the question that we're having this morning. What is Arsenal up to? I am telling you as a sports oracle that Arsenal is up to a lot this season because they have actually been in a situation where they could not even define what they wanted. Currently, Arsenal are going for the head of every fisherman who has been fishing from the sea. They are not just going for the fishes; they are also going for the fishermen. Looking at what Arsenal also is up to, they are not going with the normal nets that you go to. They are going with gun. You know what I'm saying? They are going there with gun this morning, and Arsenal is going to they look very prepared. They look ready for what is happening. They look ready. They look so ready. Of course, they have crossed the mark. And you know that I want to show you a stat that was prepared that I saw, and I want to show you to what it is. Where they are first in many things, not just first in many things. They are also going for many things. They are first in Champions League, and of course, we're going to come back to Kai Havertz. But let's see that stat where Arsenal, what it looks like, what they are actually going for, how they are going for it and what it is. Now you see they are first in the Premier League, they are first in the Champions League, now they're in Carabao Cup final, and they're in the FA Cup fourth round. They are first in the Premier League, they're first in the Premier League. Arsenal claims they are going for the quadruple, and I don't really know. By tomorrow, I'll have the best of the best here with me to look into this Arsenal game because Arsenal themselves, they don't know how or what they actually would have been looking for. They don't know what they've been looking for. All they have been looking for is just trophy. Now, I can tell you that I always say that I'm not saying this because other people are saying it, but I'm saying it out of experience that if Arsenal eventually misses this league, let's say in that final, they were not able to win the final, you know what will happen? They have actually that's not just they didn't bottle that one, of course, but let's take it further into what is going to happen. That Arsenal, when they come to a point where they play the final and were not able to win, you know what will happen is that they will return to a cycle where they have been. And you know what it means that you have been trying to get this thing. You've been trying to get something back. Now let me just leave what I'm talking about and go to live scores. The live scores design for what Arsenal is going for, what they are going actually for in the Premier League. You will see that they are first in the Premier League. This is a more clearer site for this. They are going for the Premier League. They are also going for the Champions League. They have played 8 games in and they have won 8 games in Champions League. Arsenal is the first team to have such feats since this competition. Oh, it's not like 2 years ago they started. No, they have started this and they are going to see if they will complete it. Now, also looking at them in the Carabao Cup, they are already ahead in the Carabao Cup. And if they are ahead in the Carabao Cup, what do you think will happen to Arsenal? Finally, that they get to the final of this Carabao Cup as they have gotten to the final of it. What do you think will actually happen to them when they get to the final of this Carabao Cup? Now, you were seeing that they are also pursuing their place in the FA Cup. Arsenal is set to be ready this season. And they're not going, like I said, they're not going to the river to fish just the fishes. They're not going to, farm the fishes. They are going for the fishermen. What I mean is that they are ready with their guns to shoot down. Looking at Mikel Arteta's 4-3-3 position, 4-3-3 formation, and 4-3-3 structure, how he plays his game, you would actually see that Arsenal, they are in that position to always attack you, but they don't attack. That's just the funny thing. Now, what I mean is they play a game that should be very, very interesting. A game that when you are watching, you should be, because of their formation, you are seeing there's a tendency that they should attack you more. But at the end of the day, the one who is holding the gun don't know how to shoot it. That's why they need a Bruno Fernandes in their team. That's why they also need this guy who went to Napoli. I'm talking about he went from Manchester City to Napoli. That's Kevin De Bruyne. Imagine Manchester City had someone like Odegaard in their team. I'm not sure that team would have fed Haaland the way Haaland has been scoring, or the way, if I'm not sure Haaland would even reach up to that 100 goals he scored just in December. That 100 goals he reached just in December. Now, I'm trying to bring out the midfield and show you, because yesterday we talked about Bruno Fernandes, but we're still on Arsenal. And looking at Arsenal's team, their midfield, they have a strong midfield. They have the guys. Now, yesterday, something very awesome happened. And that is also what I'm going to bring to you. What happened yesterday in the EFL League, what it was and how it went. Yesterday, when you sell a player to a team, you are expected to some degree, that player is expected to give their best. Of course, I'm not talking about a Ronaldo kid or Junior Ronaldo. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Junior Ronaldo or mini Ronaldo. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to call his name, but you know that he went from Manchester United to Chelsea out of envy, out of he felt that the coach had issues with him. Of course, maybe a few fallouts, few things here and there. The same thing that happened to Mohamed Salah. Now, look at how I'm connecting all these things together as the sports oracle. The same thing that happened to Mo Salah happened to this guy. Mo Salah was benched for quite a number of games. It was even rounding up to 6 games, of course. But this guy was just that he was benched in the final. He was not able to, he cannot contain it. This speaks of maturity and what it is when you are playing or when you are at the top. Now, football is not just a playing game where you are just all about the tactics. Football is also about the mentality, the psychology, and the mental state of the player. Because things can come up, players can go on injury, life can just happen. Certain things could happen, and this player will not have the opportunity to play again. But how will the player contain it when it is not their time, or when they are being benched, or when they are not good enough? That's exactly what I'm trying to bring to you this morning. Now, in the EFL, we are seeing that there is nothing that is as bad as you trying your best to I mean in the English EPL, as you trying to impress who does not want you. Because when coaches come into the team, they tell you, please be going, we don't want you. Don't mind I'm wearing sky blue today because this is my mood. My mood is sky. And my I'm to tell you, I'm neither for Chelsea or Arsenal, so I'm in the middle. But I'm telling you that when you are playing for a team and you are being benched, just like this guy was benched for quite a number of time, he's, of course, Mo Salah called out Arne Slot. He also called out the Liverpool management team. They had a full-blown online backlash. But what happened? They resolved it that he even started scoring. He even started playing. He was featured in the games. Well, even when he came back from AFCON. Now, what is driving me to this story is because the person who scored Chelsea yesterday, he he was sold to Arsenal from Chelsea. He went on a transfer from Arsenal, from Chelsea, sorry, to Arsenal. Now, what is happening is that a lot of players who went from Chelsea to Arsenal are finding their feet on the Arsenal stuff. They are playing well. Now, I want to mention the names. I'm talking about Noni Madueke. Not just Noni Madueke, but the person who scored that goal yesterday. I'm talking about Kai Havertz, the guy that I've been showing you on the screen. Kai Havertz. This guy, he went from Chelsea to Arsenal. Now, another side of this, another plot to this story is that the person who was on the goal yesterday for Arsenal was Kepa. So the person who Jesus, let me tell you, life happens, and this is what it is. Kepa was on the go yesterday. Kepa was actually, you are moving from a team where you don't understand. Just look at these people. Just look at these two people. Kepa Arrizabalaga. That's his name. That means Arrizabalaga. You know what it means? Arrizabalaga, run away because I'm about to give you something. Now Kepa yesterday, looking at his performance and how he had to do the thing, of course, he went from Chelsea to Arsenal. Now, all the people that Chelsea sold to Arsenal, of course, on that transfer season particularly, they were the ones that were doing Chelsea like this yesterday, especially that Kai Havertz. I must bring Kai Havertz and ask him why he scored Chelsea yesterday. And you know that in football, there's no sentiment. It's just who played well should win the game. If you played well and you don't win the game, then you did not win. You did not actually win. What you did was that you played well. But if you scored goals and you had the advantage to win, that means you won the game and you would be given the rewards, the trophies, whatever you won. You have whatever you win. Now, what I'm saying is, looking at that kind of thing, do you think Kai Havertz, when he was about to score that goal, he would have said, Kai, this is my Chelsea. I should not score them. I should just hold on and not score them. But now, let me take you back a little to what it looks like and how these people have been, what the comparisons around Chelsea and Arsenal. First of all, Chelsea now has a new coach, Roseneu. I like the guy. Why I like him is because he's a very quiet person. He is quiet that you don't hear about anything about him on the media. He came from RC Strasbourg. This is a French side he came from. I don't know who went and scouted this guy and brought him to Chelsea. When I saw about the transfer news, how he is actually going to do his game, how he's going to play, I was even not expecting him to do much. But looking at how this guy is silently pushing this agenda of Chelsea, I am telling you that he is great. He's doing so well. First of all, let me tell you that Chelsea, since this guy came, Chelsea just lost a match. They have just lost a match. They have lost a match, just one match. Now, they have lost one match. And the other matches, they have been playing well. They have actually been playing so well. Even just last weekend, they played West Ham. You saw what happened. You saw the drama. That they were losing 2 goals in first half. Just at the neck of time, Enzo Fernandez had to put Chelsea ahead by 3 goals to 2. That's the same thing that happened to Manchester United. Of course, it was an opposite thing. It was an opposite scenario. You looking at what is happening to Chelsea. Chelsea should actually have won Arsenal last night. They did not play so well. They didn't play a fantastic game. Arsenal had more chances. But I'm talking about this from a point of experience. And when we look back to history, what it has been. This is the season from what we have seen compared to many years back. The same thing that happened to Chelsea just the season that they won the Champions League. Thomas Tuchel, their coach, led them to win the Champions League. This exactly scenario was what happened then, where you have a coach, you had Enzo Maresca, and you sack the coach, and you guys are in the Champions League. You just sack Enzo Maresca, you bring in another guy to continue, and that guy that is in, he will now take you people to the Champions League final, and with no remorse, you will win the Champions League. That is what people are saying, and you know that history has a place. History has its own way of repeating itself. History doesn't need a button to be pressed for it to repeat itself. It will always repeat itself. So we are all saying whether Arsenal will not even just pass through this phase in the Champions League. What I mean is, Arsenal may not pass through this stage because looking at what is happening or what is happening to Chelsea, how they have regrouped to fire that shot. Yesterday, Arsenal won by 4 goals to 2. Of course, in the first leg, they played 3-2. And just yesterday, Arsenal had to score that goal and they won. They have now won they scaled into the final by 4 goals to 2. Now, what I want to bring to you is that you don't need to predict a lot of things in football right now because football itself is unpredictable. Looking at the transfer window too, how it has been going, it is something you would not have even seen happening, but it has been happening. Why I'm being on this matter this morning is because I want to tell you that there is no way that Arsenal would meet Chelsea again, that Arsenal will not still win Chelsea. But this is just a second leg of what is about to start in the season. Now, let's go just a little into Champions League and see what it means because I'm going to calm down now. I'm going to relax to bring you what it is. Now, Arsenal, their place in the Champions League, like I told you, they are at the top of what is happening in the Champions League. They have played 8 games over 8. They are now not 10 over 10. They are 8 over 8. You know what I'm saying? Arsenal is 8 over 8 now in the Champions League, meaning that they have played 8 games and they have won 8 games. Amazing, right? Now, this is the first time Arsenal is doing it. This is the first time they are doing it in the Champions League. And in the intro, of course, you know that the policy of Champions League has changed. What they have been, what Champions League used to be, is that everybody will be grouped. You will, if you first, second, and third of every team of every league across the world, especially within Europe, because Champions League is Euro, okay, European Champions League. Now, the first, second, and third, and fourth, these 4 teams will be grouped with other teams across Europe who performed very well. Now, see what will happen when each of them you have a team like a tournament, something like that. Then you have to play. When you are done playing, what will happen to you is that if you actually had a good point from that team, from that game, you will now go to the next level. That is where you talk about round of 16. From round of 16, you go into a quarterfinal. Then you go into semi-final. Then from there, you go into the final. I'm asking, and I'm still asking this question. Do you think Arsenal, when they meet their opponents in the EFL Cup, they will win this cup? Or are they going to bottle it in the final? Because I wanted to bring a bottle with an Arsenal sealed, a bottle that has Arsenal cover, because that is what we have always been seeing. But it looks like it's not true, that these guys are ready for the business. They are ready for the game this season, and they are ready to go invincible. Not because they're not going to lose any match. Of course, they have lost against Manchester United, and that's awesome. That's not really awesome, but that's awesome. Now, they are going to go into a side that they would never have believed. That is what I'm telling you right now, that this guy called Kai Havertz, he came from Chelsea and he destroyed us, Chelsea. You know, you came from home and you destroyed your home. That is what it is, and that is what happened yesterday in the Champions League. Congratulations to Arsenal. Congratulations to you guys. You guys have done a lot of good job. You guys have showed that you are ready for what is going to happen. And I am your one and only sports oracle. I do this just to bring you the best and what is happening in the world of sports. But this morning, I had to stay with Arsenal because these guys are looking like they are about to, do things that are crazy. They are going for the quadruple, like I've shown you. And I believe you had a good time with me this morning. I am your one and only. See you same time, same station here on Aneke TV. Make sure you tune in as we bring you in-depth analysis of what is happening in the world of sports. Thank you very much. Have a good morning. Bye.
The Hotel Presidential Enugu, originally built in 1963 under the visionary leadership of Dr. Michael Opara, the Premier of Eastern Nigeria, once stood as a prestigious landmark. For years, it served as a hub for dignitaries, statesmen, and business tycoons, playing a pivotal role in Enugu's hospitality and tourism industry. Over time, however, years of neglect by successive administrations reduced this once glamorous edifice to a shadow of its former self. As Chinua Achebe once famously posited in his magnum opus, the trouble with Nigeria is simply and squarely a failure of leadership. Governor Peter Mbah's administration is determined to revive Enugu's dormant assets. His government prioritized the rehabilitation of the presidential hotel, making it a hub of his broader vision to restore the state's economy and cultural pride. The unveiling ceremony was a spectacle of hope, showcasing a citadel of elegance and candor. The hotel, freshly refurbished, stood tall and radiant, its renewed grandeur likened to a bride on her wedding day. The bold color scheme glowed under the Enugu sun, while the wide entrance doors opened as if to welcome the world back home. Inside the refurbished rooms exuded warmth and elegance, promising comfort and hospitality of the highest standard. The Enugu Cultural Troupe electrified the atmosphere with traditional dance performances, while a symbolic eagle, soaring gracefully like a masquerade spirit, drew cheers of admiration from the ecstatic crowd. In his welcome address, the chairman of Enugu North Local Government, Dr. Ibenako Harford Ono, applauded Governor Mbah for his visionary leadership, noting that the revival of the hotel was only one among many transformative projects simultaneously being executed across the state. His words reflected the mood of the people, gratitude and renewed confidence in governance.
Your Excellency, in other places, we see development happening one sector at a time, one development at a time. But under you, Your Excellency, in Enugu, we see multi-sectoral developments happening all at the same time.
Governor Peter Mbah himself spoke with triumph and conviction, his voice resonating as he declared the hotel's rebirth a victory for the people of Enugu.
We came into office with a strong pledge to recover what belongs to our people, to revive what is moribund, and to make Enugu the preferred destination for investment, tourism, living, and leisure. We made a deliberate decision to convert dormant assets into productive assets, turn liabilities into engines of growth. That is why this unveiling is more than opening the doors of a hotel. It is the reopening of Enugu's confidence. It is a tangible sign that when we say Enugu is open for business, we mean business.
Adding to the chorus of commendations, the chaplain of Government House, Reverend Dr. Anthony Ude, described the governor's achievements as unprecedented.
Need advert placements, coverage for events, or the latest news stories? Call 070-3043-7110 right now. Aneke TV, move with the world. Good morning and welcome to news around the globe on Aneke TV, your trusted window to the major developments across Nigeria and the global community. I'm Deborah Wakaba. Glad to have you join us. Now moving over to the headlines. Senate confirms Justice Oyewole as Justice of the Supreme Court. NAFDAC raises concern over rising cases of underage drinking in Nigeria. 82 Division assures Onitsha main market traders of continued security. And on the foreign scene, United Arab Emirates intensifies humanitarian support as Sudan crisis worsens. And on business, President Tinubu reaffirms Nigeria's readiness for global clean energy investment. And now the news in details. Nigeria's Senate has confirmed Justice Joseph Oyewole as a new member of the Supreme Court after plenary adoption of the Judiciary Committee's report. The committee, chaired by Senator Adeniyi Adebonmire, praised Justice Oyewole's integrity and legal expertise before the full Senate voted in favor. President Bola Tinubu forwarded Justice Oyewole's name for screening exactly 1 week prior to under Section 231 of the 1999 Constitution. The confirmation process was fast-tracked to strengthen the nation's highest court. With this appointment, the Supreme Court moves closer to attaining its full constitution complement. The addition is expected to bolster the judiciary's capacity to handle complex legal matters. A new national survey endorsed by NAFDAC shows that 54% of Nigerian minors can buy alcohol without restriction, with many purchasing cheap sachets and small PET bottles. The findings were released Tuesday and highlight widespread access among children below the legal drinking age. The data indicates that 24% of these underage drinkers consume alcohol daily, a trend attributed to easy availability of small format beverages in retail outlets and informal markets. NAFDAC Director General Professor Mojisola Adeyeye and health experts are calling for stricter regulations, including a proposed ban on alcohol packaging under 200 millimeters to reduce youth access and prevent early addiction. Nigeria's public health system faces near shutdown as the Joint Health Sector Union strike enters its 12th week. Health workers are demanding the implementation of a salary structure aligned with medical colleagues, leaving public hospitals largely empty and critical services suspended. Thousands of patients have been displaced to private facilities, while pharmacies and laboratories in public centers remain closed. Union leaders accused the government of failing to act on a salary report pending since 2021. With the critical Friday deadline approaching, the Nigeria Labour Congress and Trade Union Congress have issued a 14-day ultimatum suggesting all the sectors could join the strike if no progress is made. Benue State has officially declared a Lassa fever outbreak following a spike in suspected and confirmed cases. The State Health Commissioner, Dr. Paul Oguche, confirmed 56 suspected cases and 8 laboratory-verified infections as of Tuesday. The outbreak has claimed 3 confirmed lives and 4 frontline health workers, including 3 nurses and a community health official, have contracted the virus during duty. Benue has activated its Public Health Emergency Operations Center for contact tracing and surveillance. Authorities are urging strict infections control, hygiene vigilance, and immediate reporting of symptoms. Abia State Police Command has clarified that no explosive device was found at United Evangelical Church in Aba following public concern. Initial reports began after a large metal object was unearthed during fence work, sparking local alarm. Police Commissioner in the state, Mr. Danladi Isa, confirmed that on-site investigations identified the object as an iron rod from a road reconstruction project, not an explosive. The police also noted that the church was adjusting its structure after encroaching on a public road and reassured the public that security remains stable and there is no threat to daily activities. The Nigerian Army's 82nd Division has assured traders at Onitsha Main Market and other economic centers of continued security. In a statement from Enugu, Lieutenant Colonel Olabisi Ayeni said of forces remain deployed with intelligence-led operation against remnants of IPOB and ESN. Colonel Ayeni commended traders for reopening their businesses despite threats, describing this as a collective stand for peace, security, and economic progress in Anambra and the southeast. The Army urged residents to continue lawful activities, avoid intimidation, and report credible security threats. Criminal elements were warned to abandon violence or face decisive action. The Enugu State Police Command has uncovered a transnational human trafficking network rescuing a 25-year-old woman trafficked to Mali for prostitution. Police arrested 69-year-old suspect Eze Boniface on January 21st following a complaint from the victim's parents. Investigations indicate the suspect and others lured the woman in May 2023 with forced job promises, resulting in her exploitation and an alleged 500,000 CFA francs, again for the syndicate. Police Commissioner Maman Beatrice Giwa has ordered the dismantling of the trafficking network, urging parents and youth to be wary of deceptive offers of foreign employment to prevent similar abuses. A major human trafficking attempt was forwarded in Taraba State, leading to the rescue and emotional reunion of 10 young victims with their families. National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons NAPTIP intercepted the children on January 31st at Komi Motor Park in Jalingo, while they were being moved by a suspected trafficker. After counseling, the agency and Taraba State Ministry of Women Affairs formally reunited the minors with their parents. Officials described the event as a wake-up call for communities. The Commissioner for Women Affairs in NAPTIP, Commander Bako Amos, said policy changes are forthcoming to address economic vulnerabilities that traffickers exploit, and the public was urged to remain vigilant against such crimes. The National Examination Council, NECO, has released the 2025 Senior School Certificate Examination SSCE external results with strong performance figures. Announcing the result in Mina, Registrar Professor Dantani Wushishi reported over 80% of candidates scored 5 credits and above. Of 96,979 registered candidates, 95,160 sat the exams. In English language, 78.32% earned credits and above, while 91.35% did so in mathematics. Overall, 71.63% obtained 5 credits including English and Maths, and 86.26% achieved 5 credits and above irrespective of those subjects, indicating solid performance among candidates. News around the globe is coming to you live from Aneke TV. Remember, you can stay connected with us on our social media platform, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now here's a quick recap of the major stories making the news. Senate confirms Justice Oyewole as Supreme Court Justice. NAFDAC raises alarm over underage drinking in Nigeria. 82 division assures Onitsha main market traders of adequate security. And coming up shortly, United Arab Emirates expand humanitarian support as Sudan crisis deepens. President Tinubu declares Nigeria open to global clean energy investment. We'll be right back. Need advert placements, coverage for events, or the latest news stories? Call 070-3043-7110 right now. Aneke TV, move with the world. Welcome back. Still on the news, the United Arab Emirates UAE has pledged $500 million to United Nations Humanitarian Fund for Sudan at a major donor conference in Washington. The contribution comes as conflict in Sudan continues to fuel famine and mass displacement across the country. UAE officials say the support reflects a commitment to humanitarian relief and the restoration of a civilian-led government in Khartoum. The pledge comes amid continued denials by the Emirates over allegations of backing armed groups in the conflict. The United States is leading efforts to raise at least $1.5 billion in total aid and is pushing for a temporary ceasefire before the start of Ramadan. Diplomatic engagements are ongoing with Egypt and Saudi Arabia to advance a broader peace roadmap. Greenland says it is open to deeper cooperation with the United States but insists its sovereignty and local interests must be respected. Greenland Foreign Minister Ms. Vivian Motzfeldt made the position known at an Arctic summit in Tromsø, Norway. She described ongoing discussions with Washington as constructive while stressing that any agreement must align with Greenland's defined national priorities. The island has gained growing geopolitical attention due to its strategic Arctic location. Authorities say negotiations are focused on balancing U.S. security interests with Greenland's authority over its territory and people as global competition for influence in the Arctic intensifies. Syrian government security forces have entered the Kurdish-controlled city of Qamishli following a U.S.-backed agreement signed on January 30th. The move begins a phased transfer of authorities to the central government in Damascus. Officials describe the development as a step toward national integration after years of divided control. The transition includes the gradual integration of Kurdish-led forces in Syria's national security structure. However, tensions remain high. Reports from nearby Hasaka indicate clashes between residents and withdrawing Kurdish security elements, raising concerns about stability during the transition period. Iranian authorities say 139 foreign nationals have been arrested in Yazd province over alleged involvement in recent unrest. Police claim the individuals coordinated activities linked to overseas networks. The arrests come amid an ongoing security crackdown following months of protests. Officials accuse foreign actors of fueling instability, a claim that has further heightened political tensions. Human rights groups continue to raise concerns over detentions and the scale of the government response, while authorities insist firm measures are necessary to maintain national security. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has announced plans to ban social media access for children under the age of 16. The proposal was unveiled at the World Government Summit in Dubai. The legislation would require strict age verification systems and impose penalties on technology firms that fail to curb harmful online content. The government says the move is aimed at protecting minors from digital risks. The proposal has drawn mixed reactions from political groups and technology stakeholders as Spain's parliament prepares to debate the measure next week. Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, son of former Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, has reportedly died near Libya's border with Algeria. Family sources and political associates confirmed the development, though details remain unclear. Saif al-Islam had resurfaced in recent years with political ambitions after spending years in detention following Libya's 2011 uprising. He remained a controversial figure due to outstanding legal and political disputes. His reported death marks a significant moment in Libya's post-revolution history as the country continues to grapple with political division and security challenges. Now moving over to business. President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria is strengthening energy partnership across Africa and beyond to boost security and economic growth. The message was delivered by Vice President Kashim Shettima at the Nigeria International Energy Summit in Abuja.